Hello and welcome to Mugman Reviews, where today we'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Onslaught Wave Green Goblin and Spider-Man Classics Hobgoblin. Now, this guy didn't come with the right glider. He came with a movie Spider-Man glider, and this guy came with no glider, so I'm making him one. You can see how well that's going. His actual glider looks something like this. And his actual glider looks something like that. And his packaging looks something like this. He came with this smoky base as well. And then that's some random junk. Actually, while on the topic, does anyone have this figure, and can anyone tell me if that tail bends? Having these two stands side by side, you can see that there's a glaring flaw. Toy Biz Hobgoblin is freakishly tall! Even taller than the Fearsome Foes Spider-Man, and then this guy I said was a little tall. He's like slightly taller than Norman here, but... Just look. God. I guess I have to go modify them like Vad Toys did. Probably leave a link to that in the description. Does a really good job here, and I highly recommend his channel. So I guess we'll take a look at Norman first, since he came first in canon and not in the animated series. So Mayor Osborn over there is an epic rendition of like your classic Green Goblin. I'd say better than the new Hasbro one. And again, all I've really seen is that through like videos. I like the purple on him. Looks more like the comics. That other purple looks a bit too blue to me. I don't know. And the head sculpt is just fantastic. I mean, when you think of the freaking Green Goblin, this is exactly what comes to mind. Am I right? Isn't that right, Parker? He's got good details. I mean, not the... aside from this, but, you know, this guy is pre-owned, so there might be some scuffs like that. Maybe I could get that off with nail polish remover. But I love the scaling detail throughout, and the paint apps are more in keeping with, like, a Hasbro figure. Because, you know, a Toy Biz figure, for the most part, has all these washes and all this. Yeah. But it's still good. It's actually great. Although you can tell it's a Toy Biz, mainly from the hand articulation. Also, kind of want to remove the pumpkin bombs on both these guys, and then having some kind of system of magnets instead. And maybe I'll try to make the magnets the same, you know, like this side will be the negative, this side will be the positive. I mean, the north and south poles, never mind, sorry. The north and south, and then, you know, they'll hopefully stick together, and we can have the goblins using each other's pumpkin bombs, you know? Now, let's get to it and go over this guy's articulation. His head moves up pretty far, moves down pretty good. Side-to-side rotation, no neck pivot. Ball-jointed shoulders, which go out about that much. Bicep swivel. Double-jointed elbows. Forearm rotation, because it is a classic Toy Biz. Wrist hinge. And hand articulation, so we can go grab at you. You know, you can go grab at Gwen Stacy and throw her off the bridge for being a cheating thought. Sorry if that's not politically correct, but she did cheat on Peter with Norman Osborn. Gwen Stacy. She was my bitch! Eat it, Parker! Yeah, you can go that far back, which is pretty good. That far forward, alright. Waist swivel. Really well-hidden ball joints that go out about that far. Jeez, I miss these old ball joints. Look at the range of movement on this. I don't really see this a lot in, you know, Hasbro Marvel Legends. He's got a thigh swivel, doubly jointed knees, ankles move down, up, and no ankle pivot, a toe joint, and before I forget, shin swivel! Why does Spider-Man figures like this? Why? Taking a look at the glider, he didn't exactly fit it too good, so I made these cuffs using twisty ties and duct tape. They're serviceable. It's a nice glider. This part rotates, and so do the boot parts. It has like this thing at the bottom, which is supposed to help it stand. That other side's really stiff, and of course it's not going to do too well on carpet. Yeah. So, let's go from one goblin to another goblin. So here's a guy who is actually out of the range of this cheap little stand of CD cases. Gonna bend him down. He's got a really good face sculpt, but at the same time it's missing paint, and that's a little infuriating. I don't know if my orange would match, or if I'd have to mix it with something darker. But really, you kind of want to repaint this guy's face, though. And there's some missing here and on the cape, but I can't really fault the figure for that because it was also pre-owned. But other than that, the paint apps are pretty clean throughout. Very nice blue here. It's kind of a striking design, really. I think that's what Roderick Kingsley was going for. Like, this definitely catches my eye. Like, if I saw this flying above, I'd be like, what the hell is that? Looks more cool than the Hobgoblin I fight. That guy has, like, some pumpkin mask and wears black. You know? Yeah, being Spider-Man and also a Spider-Man fan is really weird. So, aside from this guy's elephantitis... that's not really elephantitis. Aside from this guy being, you know, Slender Man, it's a pretty good figure. Just gotta do that modification, where maybe I'll cut it down to, like, here and then sand it around so then it'll cup these joints a little bit better. So they don't pop out as much, which I don't actually mind these ball joints popping out. I do mind how much it pops out on this guy. Actually, hold on, is this supposed to be an inner one? That looks slightly better. So let's go over the articulation. His head can still move up pretty far, and it's not really hindered by this hood and cape. Well, it's a little bit hindered, but, you know, for a hindered head, it looks up pretty far. And down a decent degree. Once again, okay, a little bit of neck pivot, side-to-side movement. Shoulders go out that far. Ah! Bicep swivel. Double-jointed elbows that are stiff, which is nice. Except also not nice. Forearm rotation, wrist hinge, and, you know, hand clamping articulation. Has the same thing over here, but it's like hindered by that pumpkin. Yeah. Okay, and this ab crunch is very stiff. It goes that far back, that far forward. It swivels, you know, waist swivel, thighs go out very far. Thigh rotation, double jointed knees, stiff boot swivel, ankles move down, up. Toy Biz is very decent. I can't say styling. Ankle pivot, which is actually very good because I've seen Toy Biz figures with really shit, you know, ankle pivot. And of course, a toe joint. So yeah, this guy's still a pretty good figure, even though he's taller than most men. Yeah, seriously, I gotta do something about these legs. Like, really. Yeah, and this guy is standing like just a little bit under, or maybe right about 7 inches. I mean, God. He's tall. Also, I compared like the thighs on these two. His whole thigh right here is about as big as the thigh here, including the ball joint. And Norman, with those pointy ears, stands at just under. Oh yeah, let me just actually put him on this thing, and yeah, just a little bit under 6.5 inches tall. Okay, so here they are standing next to 2 random Toy Biz figures I had with me: the First Appearance Spider-Man and the Fearsome Foes. Here they are standing next to the Pizza Spidey. He's actually a little short compared to the Pizza Spidey. And the PS4 Spider-Man. Not too sure how I feel about this. I don't know, Pete, how do you feel about Mayor Osborn being this short? It's a little weird. Here they are standing next to Mysterio, who for all we know might not be Quentin Beck Mysterio, might be that one Mysterio who is also a Hobgoblin. And here they are standing next to the Ultimate Green Goblin, who is surprisingly taller than that guy. And here's a knockoff Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure with a Web Battler's head, standing next to a broken First Appearance Spider-Man with a weird chip in his head, because I actually swapped the heads because of that weird chip with this guy, because this guy has a nicer head, in front of a Marcos Martin Spider-Man drawing. Yeah. You guys think you see what's going on here? And here they are standing next to the Miles Morales Universe Spider-Man. I also had alternate ideas for the gliders, for like, maybe make this into a Hobgoblin glider, but then I'm like, you know, these wings are kind of rare or something, I don't really want to do that. We take some of these Bionicle wings and Dremel them up and make them into a glider at the same time. They're kind of small, so I might want to get 2 of them. Although I like the Green Goblin considerably more. However, if you get this guy, I'd say go ahead and get him. Even if you have already have like the old, well, the new Hasbro one, because maybe you can put him on that glider. Although you have this guy and you don't feel like modifying him, and you think, well, gee, this guy's too tall. Maybe try to take his head off and put it on the new Hasbro one. You won't be disappointed with the results, trust me. Yeah, it is something else that VAD Toys, whatever he calls himself, did, and it looks awesome. Like, this guy really knows what he's doing. Although, I'd much rather just shave down these joints, because I'd much rather have the Toy Biz figure for the time being. But maybe that could change. All in all, I love these 2 juiced athletes. Anyway, I highly recommend both these figures. And that's my review, guys. So, I guess, to see if you can get these. Hope you had a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, and have a good day, everyone. Or in case this video, I decide to post this in, like, January. Hey, Happy New Year's, guys! Maybe I'll do a New Year's live stream or something. Well, actually, funny thing about this image, kind of the way I remember this Return of the Green Goblin, or definitely, I can't fucking remember what this story was called. It was in Peter Parker's Spider-Man, I think. It's run by Humberto Ramos, and something here with a bearded Peter Parker, I think. Ha 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 ha!